As original artists, we're also business managers, and the worst way to run a business is to post on TikTok and hope that customers come. We just post on Instagram, post on TikTok, release songs on Spotify, and we just keep hoping for algorithmic favor to give us a career overnight and for people to come out of the woodworks and be like, take my money. But the truth is that even if we go viral and we get millions of viewers coming into our artist ecosystem and wanting to buy things from us, half of us don't even have the mechanism set up for them to buy it. If someone goes to your website right now, can they purchase things from you? And will it have the right tax and the right shipping? And after they buy it, will they hear from you ever again? Or is it a one and done? Because that sort of abrupt ending to every fan interaction is one of the reasons that we can't build momentum. And as business owners, what we need is momentum and we need cash flow. That's going to be the lifeblood of our business, even though it's a business based on our art and out of the stuff that comes out of our heart. And so it's hard to look at it like a business, but that is to our detriment. And that's why I built the Struggle Smarter checklist. It's 15 elements that are a little more important than just posting to the algorithm. Here's a quick overview of everything we're going to cover in the Struggle Smarter checklist. And if you want your own Struggle Smarter checklist, you can hit the link in the description and download it for free. I just want to help musicians keep making music. There's too many of us quitting because it is hard, and we make it harder on ourselves by taking the industry and the algorithm as our bosses instead of becoming our own bosses. So this checklist is broken down into two parts. One is the foundation, and that's just all the elements you need to build a good online business for your music. And then the next part is the amplification. How do we take our messaging and our reach farther? But the first part of the foundation is just offers. So what can we sell in the era of free music? Offers. That's what. An offer is a creative packaging for your music, merch, content, and services that puts the value for the fans front and center. So an offer is, instead of join my email list, an offer is hear my next song for free before it's unreleased. Just share your email. Download our new album early. Pay whatever you want. Get my debut album on CD for free. Just cover shipping and handling. Get our new vinyl unlimited edition Glitch Pop Green, only 50 made. Donate 500 to my next album and get 4 songwriting/producing sessions. Join my Patreon and get a new song every week. Media bundle. Get the vinyl plus the CD and the tape comes free. These are all examples of great offers that are going to make you more money than posting to TikTok. And if you really want to do this right, you want to test as many offers as possible to see what resonates the most, what gets the most traction, and then go with that. Don't come up with one offer and when it flops, say offers actually don't work. You have to find the offer that does work, and it will include having offers that don't work. The second thing you need is pretty obvious, but it's songs on streamings. Streaming services are not the end all be all to making money. In fact, they are kind of one of the obstacles to making money as a musician, but they are one of your best marketing tools because that's where people go to stream music. They don't pay well, but they do offer a ubiquitous, frictionless way for fans around the world to access your music instantly. It's okay to have your music streaming on Bandcamp or your music embedded into your artist website, but just know that the average listener is going to want something that's a little easier to carry around. If you've ever tried to stream music on your phone from an artist's website or something that wasn't like streaming software, it can be a little clunky. It can be a little hard to go from like computer to phone, make it travelable like so much of our media is these days with our phones. So that's another reason that the streaming services are actually helpful. And what streaming services you put your music out on can really totally be up to you. If you want every kind of listener to go towards your music with no problem, then you want to include all of them. But if you want to leave some of them out, I think that's fine too. I don't think it's going to be detrimental to your artist's success. But as a business owner, one thing you do want to consider is your distribution service that sends it out to Spotify and to Apple Music and to YouTube and to all those things. And just confirm the bottom line. Just run the numbers and decide for yourself if that distribution service is offering you a payment plan that is going to help you in the long run and not hinder you. If they're charging you monthly or yearly and you're music business isn't up to keep up with that, then maybe consider doing a cheaper or less subscribed sort of option. You also want to consider how much of the royalties that they keep, because we already get paid so little from streaming services that having to divide that up is also an important step. And some of these distribution services take more off the top than others. If you want, within our Struggle Smarter checklist, we also have a link to a Struggleville comparison chart, and that is to compare different tech, like distribution services, like DistroKid versus TuneCore versus CD Baby or whatever. But it's a comparison chart for all kinds of music software that you may need, and it just has columns that compares pricing and what they do and the subscription cadence and whatnot. So hopefully that can be helpful for you too. The third element of the Struggle Smarter checklist is a mailing list. There are way too many musicians out there, and I have been just as guilty as anyone else who deprioritize their mailing list. Maybe they get 100 emails on a piece of paper and they just carry that around for a decade. They never add to it. They never email those people. They don't build out. But your mailing list is one of the few audiences that you own. It's not TikTok's audience. It's not Spotify's audience. And it doesn't get suppressed by those social media algorithms. Your email is going to land in their inbox, and you have pretty much a 50% chance of them opening any email you see, which is way higher than the 1% or the 3% chance that they're going to see your content on either of those services. That's a huge potential difference for your financials. For example, if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram with 2% engagement, 20 interactions, and a click-through rate of less than 1%, that's going to be 0 to 1 purchase for every 1,000 followers. But if you have 1,000 email subscribers at only a 20% open rate, which is low, and then a 2 to 5% click-through rate, again, kind of low, that still equates to 4 to 10 purchases versus the 0 to 1 1,000 Instagram followers is going to get you. And that's mostly because most of those Instagram followers are not even going to see it. Like I said, the algorithms can't suppress your emails, and you can export your list anytime and save it or transfer email platforms. Like, it's not going to live and die with a certain software. Those email lists that you have, as long as you're regularly making sure you're backing up the .csv files that contains all of the subscriber information, and you're not going to lose it, much safer than, let's say, a Twitter account, for example. Fourth thing on the Struggle Smarter checklist is a website. If you have a website, good on you. I have noticed from working with musicians that the ones with a website are much more serious than the ones that don't have a website. With that said, so many of us use our website like a glorified business card. It gives a little bit of information, but if you're going to be paying 30, 40 bucks a month for this, you want it to do so much more than just say your name and your bio and have an email where they can reach out to you, a contact form. Which, by the way, I don't think musicians need a contact form half the time unless you offer lessons or something like that. But here are some ways to make your website work harder for you. So first of all, know that clarity is king, all right? Don't confuse people. Give your visitors something to do. Make it obvious, but don't confuse them with multiple calls to action. That's the marketing term for like a button to click. So don't have buy my new CD, subscribe, stream, join my Patreon. Like, don't have all these things competing in the same space, because what that will end up doing is just overwhelming your audience, and they will choose nothing rather than one of the things. So keep it as streamlined as possible. Second thing, reduce external links. Keep visitors on your site. You don't have to put all your socials at the top of your website, because they probably found your website from social media. So why send them right back to it? You can have those social links on there. I suggest putting them in the footer or something. Your goal with your website is to give people things to do, fun things to do, things that are interesting that they want to do, and also reduce the amount of exit ramps that they have to leave your website. Instead of just having your merch on a store, build a merch funnel. What that means is you're highlighting a specific merch offer, and then you're guiding those fans through the purchasing journey. And that, again, avoids that potential option overwhelm that your music store may have. If you have like 5 things for sale in your music store, then some people may go, maybe the toast is done. I got to go upstairs. I'm not going to come back to this. You know what I mean? And we lose sales with that sort of indecision. But a merch funnel can be like an organic post, a single part of your website that says, here's our new album. Get it on CD for half the price. And people go, oh, that sounds like a cool deal. And I'm interested in that. And then they click on it and they find out why you're discounting it. And they say, yeah, I'll take that. And then as they go to checkout, you can say, hey, well, here's the vinyl version. Here's the t-shirt that goes with it. Here's a sticker packet. Just whatever you want, you can add on to that sale. And it's not being sleazy or marketing or anything. It's taking someone's attention. They're finding you, they're into this offer, and you are offering them more value before they get to the end. They don't have to take you up on it. So it's not like a sleazy thing to do. Our fans are never more interested in us than those first few minutes that they discover us or that they go to our website. And so we want to really capitalize on that attention because there's a lot of things out here vying for that attention. And so if we're not going to be like sort of surgical with the way we guide our fans, then it's going to be harder to keep them around and certainly harder to monetize them. This is kind of an obvious thing. Use photos. People get overwhelmed by too much copy sometimes. And also, you want to have professional images. That is going to be one of the quickest indicators that you are taking yourself seriously, so that you have some decent pictures on your website. Also, as humans, we just like to see other humans. So having pictures on your website more than just logos and copy is important. Now, if you are like the Gorillas from the 90s and like you don't show your face, you can have a different approach to it. If you're a metal band and you guys do something different, that's okay. But whatever you can do to add a little bit of a human element is only going to benefit you because people like to see human faces. Once you build a website, don't just ignore it for the next 5 years. Regularly review it, make sure that the way you built that last thing was clear, and test it yourself as if you're the fan. Make sure it works and make sure it is up to date. That's one of the things I see a lot of artists do is they just have old, outdated material and information on their website, which as soon as someone sees that, they go, oh, this isn't up to date, so I'm leaving. And the fifth thing, and this is the last element of the foundational part of the Struggle Smarter checklist, and that is merch. This is actually a little bit optional, but it's such a strong element, especially for money-making power, that I have included it as one of the top 5 things that you need and included it as a foundational part because, like I said, money and cash flow is the lifeblood of any business, including our music business, and merch has some of the best margins. Now, the reason I say that merch is a little bit optional as a foundational step is because you can sell or give away electronic downloads and things like that. You can have other offers that aren't merch that you had to source and that you have inventory where you can have electronic downloads and stuff. So if you have offers and a website and a mailing list and songs on streaming, you still have a really good, strong foundation. And I would just recommend get merch as soon as you can add that because it's only going to help your bottom line. So yeah, merch is a crucial income source on tour and especially between shows. How to maximize it. Start small. Use low-cost, high-margin items, stickers, koozies, posters, lighters, just small things. It gives people a low-risk opportunity to support you and to see what you're all about, and it helps them dip their toe in the water. Some people don't want to spend 40, 80, 100 bucks on their first time, but they will gladly do it later as long as you shipped their stickers within a reasonable amount of time. Get creative with this. Explore digital products, exclusive audio files, PDFs, videos, things like that, as well as trying to source actual inventory that you have to like pay for. If money is a problem, if paying for merch is a problem, then get creative and figure out what kind of experience you can sell to your fans that doesn't cost you as much. Is it some experience with you? Can you write them a song? Can you hang out with them on a live, something like that? Or is it just an exclusive download, some exclusive content, things like that? It doesn't all have to be like t-shirts and things that you have to buy ahead of time. And another pro tip here is use print on demand, not to make money because they really cut into your margins there. It's hard to make much money with print on demand, but what print on demand is great for is seeing which merch items people really resonate with. right? So you can design a few different t-shirts with like different layouts of the art or different approaches, and whichever one wins, whichever one gets the most purchases, well, that's the one maybe that is worth investing into like a full bulk purchase of it so that you can sell it and then you can make those margins. Because the last thing you want to do is buy a bunch of t-shirts that no one wants to buy because they don't look good or something. And another pro tip on merch is just consider the shipping. Make sure that you try some different ways to ship. Make sure that you try to find lightweight boxes and lighter weight merch. Don't decide that you're going to start whittling 12-pound statues for people and shipping them, unless you're really good at that and you want to do it, but just make sure you're charging them enough to cover shipping. Because the larger something is, the heavier something is, the more it's going to cost you to get to them. All right, and now we're at level 2 of the Struggle Smarter checklist. These are the tools that are going to help you amplify what you've already got going on. And the first one of those is a very marketing term, but it's going to make more sense as I go through it. And that is a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is any offer that entices your fans to subscribe to your email list, to share their phone number with you, to share their address with you, and basically to give you their information. That is in the marketing game what we call a lead, right? So a lead magnet is something as simple as, hey, get our next unreleased song now. You can get it early. Just give us your name and email and zip code. Early access to songs, behind the scenes content, free download, a song I'm never going to release, album I'm never going to release. We're only going to sell these shirts to our email list. So join our email list if you want a chance to buy one of these shirts before they sell out. You want to put the fans' value front and center. You don't want to say, I've got a new song, I need emails, or join my newsletter. Like that is clearly you're asking for their information to support you, but you can flip that a little bit. Say like, get instant access now. Be the only ones to get this. If you like this, then you'll like this. Frame it in a way that is valuable for them, not just as people who want to support you, but as people who enjoy t-shirts, enjoy certain kinds of music. Like they are your customers. You are serving them by sharing your art with them, and be sure to frame it up that way. And just like with offers, you want to test different lead magnets to see which fills up your email list the fastest. And once you find something that really works, run that thing till the wheels fall off or you hit your subscriber goal. Once you fill up your email list, you want to have some email automation so that you are still conversing with those people. Again, I made this problem earlier on in my music journey. I would just take these emails, I would hold on to them, and I would just like occasionally maybe send a one-off email. I didn't know the power of email automations at the time. And I also didn't know the damage of not following up. When someone gives you their email, that's a relatively big deal. They have agreed for you to send them emails in this day and age. We get a lot of emails. We don't need that many more emails. And one of the worst things you can do is to get someone's email and then never follow up with them, or not follow up with them for 3 years or 6 months or whatever it is. And what email automations do is as soon as they join your mailing list, the email automations start pumping out the value. It's a conversation that you're having with them, except you have already said your part. You've already written all of your responses and they're just coming to them automatically. So some regular email automations that I recommend artists use is one, a welcome sequence. So this is just introducing new subscribers to your music, to your backstory. You're taking them a little bit deeper, one email at a time. And what you're not doing in most of these emails, some of them you can, but in most of these welcome sequence emails, you don't want to ask them to buy anything, right? You're trying to provide value. So if they joined your email list to hear your new unreleased single, well, you can thank them and share a demo or share a behind the scenes making of the song that they downloaded. You can add value that is based in the reason that they joined your email list, if that's possible. Another email automation you have to have is if you're selling merch online, you want that purchase to be only the beginning of your fans' journey. So as soon as they buy your merch, you want to automate follow-ups to upsell and to give them more value and to share exclusive offers. They have indicated that they are people who are willing to support you monetarily, and to let that go cold and to never follow up with them is one of the biggest mistakes that business owners in general tend to make, but especially musicians. And third, for the email automations, is something that's creative. Think of these email automations as a journey that you are sending your fans on. You can give them deeper weekly insights into your songs or into the album you're making. You can give them tour diaries and like stories from the road. You can show them your unique projects, whether it's other bands or other art that you make or just something unique to your story. Subscribers might be too busy to open every single email, but they did subscribe for a reason, and you can give them creative insight here. You can give them a window into your life and your creative process from all different directions. The aim here is to add value for them while connecting it to your musician story. And a lot of these email automation softwares, they also include like SMS automation and things like that. So you can do a lot. I would recommend, if you don't already have email automations, see if your current email software includes those. And it needs to be more than a single automation. It needs to be more than just a follow-up email after a single purchase. You need to be able to send like weeks worth of automations. And for my money, I really like MailerLite. They are very affordable, but of course there's also MailChimp, there's ConvertKit, HubSpot. There's so many out there, but you're going to need more than a Bandzoogle account to get this done. So shop them, compare them, and start implementing email automations. Number 8 is an online store. This is another relatively obvious thing, but I can't tell you how many musicians I meet that have a website that doesn't have an online store. And the reason you want an online store is because otherwise we have a very, very part-time job, right? If you're selling merch on tour and then you get off tour and you don't sell merch anymore, then your business is not open, you know? And so an online store allows 24/7 access for people to support you and your music. So things to consider for an online store: choose a website software that has strong e-commerce features. I think Squarespace is okay with this. Shopify has really good e-commerce features, not the most amazing, beautiful website building features. That's okay. Bandzoogle, great for pricing, great for building a website, not incredible for e-commerce, but you can make it work. I'm not saying it's a lost cause. While we were talking about the email automations, you want to be following up with these people. Anybody who buys from your store should receive automated follow-up emails that confirms their order, tells them more about what they bought, tells them why it's special, tells them what else is special, and what else could add more value to them if they were to buy it from you. If and when you can, absolutely highlight fan testimonials or fan photos with your merch. And a little pro tip here is the automated email follow-up that comes after someone purchases your merch can, the fourth or fifth email can suggest, hey, by now you should have received your merch. I hope you found it exciting. I hope you liked the freebies I threw in there. I hope you liked the letter I put there. If you did dig it, if you're rocking the sweatshirt or the t-shirt or the record, whatever you bought, would you mind giving me a little shout out on Instagram so that more people can find out about this art that I make? And then that way you're going to get more of those testimonials. People won't do things if we don't ask them to do things. Number 9 on the Struggle Smarter checklist is a merch funnel. The difference between a merch funnel and an online store is that an online store is suggestive. It's like, hey, here's some things if you want to buy them. But a merch funnel, it guides people. It's like, hey, if you're interested in this one thing, then you might be interested in these other things. So you want to start with a single exclusive merch, like a signed CD or a discount. And then as they go to checkout, they get upsold or downsold into other things that are going to add value to that. So if they buy the cassette tape of your new album for a discount or for free, as they're going to checkout, you can say, hey, if you're into this, we're also selling used tape players, or we are also selling the vinyl version. And if they don't want something that is like more expensive like that, then when they say no, the next page can say, okay, that's fair enough. How about this sticker pack? That's what a downsell is. It's like if they didn't want the more expensive thing, now you can offer a cheaper thing that still increases the cart value. And this is normal stuff. This is not sleaziness. This is just being a business. And I know that in this day and age, this late stage capitalism, like we've all been burnt enough by maybe bad business practices that we think it's wrong to do with our music. But I'm telling you, that is a limiting belief that is going to hurt your music business more than it's going to do anything for the moral value of society. So don't be afraid to upsell and downsell people after they willingly buy your first item. Nothing is more important than the cash flow that is going to keep our business alive. And it is up to us to make that happen. It is not up to fate or TikTok or Spotify. Number 10 on the Struggle Smarter checklist is landing pages. Now, these are pages that exist sort of on their own, right? So a landing page is different from maybe a main page of your website because people can't navigate to it. A landing page is somewhere that people are sent if they click a certain link or maybe see an ad or something. You're probably most familiar with landing pages that offer a Spotify stream, Apple stream, like offers all the different streaming services. That's one type of landing page. And then another type of landing page is one that you could build on your website. So if you have a merch funnel, you will kick that off with a landing page that tells people why the offer is great. And ideally, this landing page doesn't have the main navigation from the rest of your website because once you have their attention on it, you want to keep it there and not give them a bunch of reasons to click away. Landing pages can help you sell special offers. They can have the new single or album links with all your streaming options. They could just be about tour dates to help sell more tickets. Or they could be something like a fan survey. If someone bought things from you or came to a show, or maybe you just wanted feedback on some future music they wanted to see from you, a landing page is where you might want to put that fan survey. And again, on landing pages, you want to remove distractions. If you want people to do the thing the landing page wants, you want to remove the distractions. So if you're using one of the landing pages that sends people to the different streaming services for your new song or your new album, maybe don't add the social media links at the bottom of it that allow them to link out without listening to it. Maybe don't put your email here at the bottom if it is going to compete with the play button on the Spotify or the Apple Music streaming part. If you wanted to have an email come first where they had to put in the email in order to see the landing page, that is a smart move, I think. But again, on these landing pages, we want to keep it very focused on the mission so that they cannot take any off ramps and avoid, supporting our business. This may be the most obvious thing from the Struggle Smarter checklist. We all know we need video content. It is essential. I don't know if it's as essential as we all make it by making it the end all be all of our music career and having the only thing we do is like play live shows, record music, and post to TikTok. Like that is not a strong business plan. However, we do need video content. It is going to endear us to people the fastest, and it is going to also play a big part in like running ads, and we listen with our eyes these days. So people want to see the music videos. They want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see who you are. They want to see who they're supporting. And for those reasons, video content is killer. But it's also killer because it will kill us trying to constantly churn out content and be a content creator. And so if you want to not be a content creator, then you have to take a strategic approach to your video content. And so I would say focus on one or a very few amount of platforms that you can handle posting to consistently. One of my favorite ways to do this is to either set up a camera or hire a friend to shoot one of our shows. And then you have like 30 minutes to an hour's worth of content, and that can be cut down into so many videos. Every verse, every chorus, every stage banter between songs, like every bit of it is great video content, and it doesn't involve sitting around coming up with all these like hooks or content ideas necessarily. I mean, once you're finally posting the performance video, maybe you want to include a text hook, but it's different than making like a net new TikTok video that is based only in some idea that you had. And it's like, it's music first, right? It shows people, hey, I'm a musician. I'm a gigging musician. I'm playing right now. This is what I look like when I play. This is what my band looks like. This is our vibe. Like it tells people a lot about us really quickly to have that performance video. as the basis of our content game. Whether you use performance video or not, batch creation is the move. If you try to do this every single day, but you don't want to be a content creator, then the math ain't math in there, right? If you don't want to be a content creator, why are you making content every single day? That will crush your soul. If you just want to be a musician, batch create, have a strategy behind this. Don't always be on your back foot trying to play catch up. And if you can, schedule posts in advance. You can use something like Hootsuite, but if you want to go the free route, you can also schedule on Meta Business Suite. You can schedule for your Facebook and your Instagram all in one place. On YouTube, you can schedule within the app. TikTok on a desktop, you can schedule within the app. There are some limits here and there with how they work, but it's totally possible to do it without subscribing to Hootsuite or one of those sorts of social media managing softwares. Number 12 on the Struggle Smarter checklist is Meta Business Manager. I am not a huge fan of Meta, morally speaking, but it is detrimental to the modern business ecosystem, especially for musicians who we're not selling homemade candles that we just ship within the continental United States. As soon as your music is up on streaming services, you're a global brand, right? And it behooves us to try to talk to as many potential listeners of our music on the globe as possible. And one of the easiest and most effective ways to do that is using Meta Business Manager. Meta Business Manager is one of the oldest platforms out there for running ads on an individual level. So it's one of the most effective as well. And I have spent almost a decade working in advertising as well. And Meta Business Manager is what major brands use to put out their commercials and their ads. And we can access it just as easily as they can. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but there is ample amount of support on YouTube for that sort of stuff. And you can come to Struggleville and we'll show you how to set up your own ads. If you want to run effective ads, you need a Facebook or Instagram business page, like an artist page on Facebook or Instagram. And you need to set up a Meta Business Manager account to run those ads. And you also want to set up a pixel or an API conversion that is going to help you track what people who click on your ads do. So a pixel is just a unique code. It's a number that you can install on your web page, on your website. And as people click on your ads, they go to your website and they shop the merch or the offer that you're sending people to, then that pixel is going to tell Meta what kinds of people are going all the way and what people are doing the most. And then it will train those ads to be put in front of more people who are more likely to go all the way, listen to your thing, buy your thing, whatever it may be. Please avoid boosting posts. Avoid third party altogether. Toned In allows you to run ads from their stuff. It's super expensive. It is not worth it. You can do it straight from Meta Business Suite. You're still going to have to pay for ad spend. So why add to that some huge fee? And when it comes to boosting on Instagram, that is a very non-specific way to boost your content. Will it get you some more views and some likes? Yes, but you will not have the same amount of data that you could from running it through Meta Business Suite. And to me, the goal of running ads to only have more views and likes is not a great business goal to begin with. Because, like I've said, cash flow is just like blood to your heart. It is needed to keep your business going. So think long and hard before you run ads. If your main goal is to run ads to Spotify, run ads to your new song that came out, that is a worthy goal. I'm not saying don't do that, especially if it's a new song that just came out. That sort of extra boost that the ads can give you is going to only help the Spotify algorithm favor you better. And that can be worth it. However, recognize that the payout from Spotify, especially for small and mid artists, size artists, is fractions of a penny. It's such small numbers that you really can look at it as an income stream in and of itself. What Spotify is, And really, I guess all the streaming services, they are marketing platforms. They allow people to experience your music and, you know, quote unquote, support it a little bit, but there are much better income streams. And so if you don't have a lot of money, I would not recommend spending a lot of money on an ad that is going to send people to a streaming service that is not going to pay you. That's a lot of money up front for not a lot of money in the back. If you want a better ROI, then I would suggest running ads for something higher ticket like a vinyl. But if you are brand new to ads, running ads to your streaming services is a great exercise. It's a good practice. Just go into it knowing that you're not making money from it. It's not going to make you rich. It might get you some more streams though, and it's certainly going to teach you more about advertising. Nothing teaches you more than doing the work. You can check out YouTube videos, you can download all the PDFs you want, but nothing is going to teach you more than doing the work it takes. Number 13 is a Facebook pixel. I alluded to this earlier, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it so that everybody knows what it is. But it's one of the most accessible tools for tracking and retargeting of our ads. So you just need one pixel. It's not like you need a new pixel every time you have an advertising idea or a campaign to run. You can have a single one that is connected to your artist profile, your business page, and you can install it on your website and any landing pages like the ones you might build from Toned In. And that pixel, like I said earlier, is going to collect data on what's working and what's not, and it's going to optimize your ads for people who are more likely to find them valuable. And it's also going to give you a lot of data just to help you refine your ads, come up with new ideas, see what's working, see what's not working, and build a better music business. And so it is really a non-negotiable when it comes to running ads, especially. Some of the most common ads that we want to run are going to be ads to our streaming. Now, again, I want to caveat that you are paying for ads, which is marketing, right? To go to Spotify or another streaming service, which again is marketing. So you're paying for ads to pay for marketing. It's good for exposure. It's good for numbers. It's good for vanity metrics. It is not great for a bottom line. So if money is the thing you need the most, I do not recommend running ads to streaming services. However, if you have a new song coming out and you want the algorithms, the Spotify algorithm specifically, to treat it better, then the boost that you can get from running an ad on day one and for the first week or first month or whatever is valuable. It's valuable to those vanity metrics and to your artistry. It is not as valuable to your bottom line. That is going to come much later after doing this successfully several times. But with that caveat in place, when you're running paid ads to your streaming, what you want to do is to create multiple video ads that target fans worldwide. If you're running ads to streaming, anyone can get there. You don't have to ship anything to them. So you may as well go for the entire globe. However, they are not all created the same. There are what we call tier 1 and tier 2 countries, which have basically better cybersecurity protocols in place, and that will just help you avoid bot type stuff. I'm not saying that you can't advertise to tier 3 countries. I'm just saying it comes with a little bit more weird stuff. One thing that you'll find once you start running ads is that your artist page will start getting inundated with, and this is even running tier 1 and tier 2 countries. You'll start getting inundated with these messages that say, your Facebook account is spam. It's a scam, basically. It's saying that, you know, your ad page is going to get shut off, and basically just ignore all those. And if you want to limit how many of that sort of interaction you get, only target tier 1 or tier 2 countries, or you can target them both and avoid tier 3. But as you post those multiple videos, you can use that ad data to improve your creative over time. So maybe you had 3 videos and the first video did much better than the other 2. You make 2 new videos that look kind of like that first video, run them together, and then if either of the two new videos do better than the first video, well, now you've got a new winner and a new North Star to sort of aim at, creatively speaking. Experiment with different hooks to find the best performing. We all know that those first 2 or 3 seconds are the most important. If you can keep people there for that long, then you're going to keep them for the next 3 seconds. Always include captions. So many people listen with their sound off, so captions are key. And limit your placements. Meta Business Suite will allow you to place ads all over the place in all these different sizes. But if you think about it, we want people to hear our music, right? And so we want to prioritize for placements that allow people to listen to music. And that is like stories, reels, in feed, and not as much in like search results or, in Facebook Marketplace and things like that. And for people who like your ad and they want to go deeper, when they click on that ad, it should direct them to a landing page that has all of your streaming links, right? You never want to run a Facebook ad straight to Spotify, right? Because you will lose data and you will limit how many people can convert, because not everybody's a Spotify listener, right? So you want to make sure you have a landing page like you could build with Toned In. You can also build them with Submit Hub that allows people to choose from different things. You may, if you've already put out music, you may know that things like CD Baby and TuneCore and whatnot, they will give you a landing page to use. However, you lose data there too. Like you can't track them in the same way. And unless they allow you to install a pixel, they're not going to help you as much. And so I think it is in your best interest to build your own landing page instead of using the free ones, the automatic ones, the DistroKid and whatnot makes. Build your own one so that you can include a pixel and so that you can track the data to see who's clicking what and, what's working and what's not. That data is, really helpful to your bottom line and your long-term business strategies. For most ads, I recommend starting with at least $5 a day. Anything less than that, it's not going to be able to learn and target the right people in the time that you want it to. Anything more than that can potentially help you lose money if you don't know what you're doing. Once you do know what you're doing, go well above $5 a day if you can. But start around $5 a day. It's just enough to move the needle without it totally decimating you. $5 a day is only like $150 for a month, which is doable at least occasionally for most musicians. And again, I mentioned this earlier, but use more than one video. That is so, so important. You have to give the algorithm and the viewers different things to see which one really works. Even working in advertising, I can tell you right now that the experts, the people who are spending millions on this, on advertising, they also don't know what is going to resonate the most with the average person. And so they put out multiple videos and they just go with the data. And that is your best move too. Do at least 3 to 5 is great. The other kind of ads you want to run have a little bit better bottom line. They can help you make money more than paid ads to streaming because you can send them to things they can actually buy. So paid ads to a merch funnel is one of the best kind of ads you can run. So obviously you need a merch funnel to do this. So, don't try to run ads to selling stuff, until you already have a merch funnel built. But using the merch you have or the merch you can afford, we want to just come up with a great offer around one of the item. Maybe if you already know what your best selling item is, you could start there. And a little pro tip, make sure it's media as opposed to apparel, because media allows you to send it media mail. Media mail is a thing that the U.S. Post Office offers that is a flat, low rate for shipping anything that is a book or a CD or a VHS or a DVD or something that can be considered media as sort of an educational subsidization that the government offers. And it's cheaper than priority mail or ground mail or any of that. Sometimes things like Pirate Ship and those other softwares can get you better shipping rates, but again, those obviously come with like subscription costs and stuff. Some offers that you could lead this merch funnel with also make the ads that you're running to the merch funnel like pop a little more or be a little more enticing. Is like, I'm giving away my album, just pay shipping and handling, or get the digital album ahead of the album's release, or get exclusive access to the making of our record, a documentary that we made behind the scenes. And that way it's not just enticing because of the video, it's also enticing because of the deal. And like we said earlier in the merch funnel, what follows that can be ways to increase that cart value. So you're not only giving away things for free, discounted, you can actually improve that bottom line. And before you run ads to your merch funnel, you want to also build that follow up, right? You want to build the automated sequence of 4 to 8 emails that nurtures those new customers after their purchase, because the customers who are buying our merch from us are hands down our best customers. And so we want to make sure we keep that conversation going. So before you're running paid ads to a merch funnel, you need a merch funnel, and that funnel includes automatic follow-up of emails. And that is all of the 15 elements, but there's one bonus tactic that kind of combines some of the elements that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is the evergreen fan funnel. A fan funnel works like this. Start by thinking of a great offer, like we just talked about: free CD, exclusive experience, limited offer, etc. Then you go and write 4 to 8 emails that would add value to that offer, to a fan who just bought that offer from you, and schedule it out based upon the fan's opt-in action. So once they buy the first thing from you, they get an automatic confirmation or a thank you, and then a week later they get another thing. And again, these emails that you're following up with are to add value to their initial purchase and make sure that they know that you care about them and that you're here to offer them value, right? After you write those email automations, you want to go build your merch funnel. Use your offer as a starting point and build a checkout process that offers fans chances to build on to their order. And then finally, get this evergreen fan funnel up and running. You want to build those ads in, Meta Business Suite ideally, but you could also build them on YouTube or Google. And you want to pair your best performing content with your most bought offer after you've, tested a couple offers. And after you built your merch funnel, you want to complete this automated system by adding the ads, right? So whether it's in Meta Business Suite or on YouTube or in Google, you want to build ads that have that initial offer front and center, and it's using, your best creative paired with your best offer. And that gets people to opt in to this system that you built that is automatic. It doesn't really involve you doing anything other than the setup. Once they buy the first thing, they're going to get followed up with emails, and that conversation is going to keep going. And you can run that as long as you have the money to put behind the ads. And if your upsells are enough, and if your sales in general are enough, then that can become your ad spend. And you can essentially build a way to have your ad spend completely covered by your merch funnel. And that's going to take some testing. It's going to take some trial and error, but it basically is your way of printing ad money so that you can keep these things going and build that audience on your email list that you own day after day after day without you posting constantly to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is. And that is the kind of system that really can kind of separate the pros from the Joes and help you build something that starts to gain momentum and is sustainable. I hope that this was informative. I hope that it was eye-opening. I hope it gave you some energy to do something besides twerk for TikTok and, try to go viral every day. I have done enough of that I know that it's sort of soul-crushing, and I have done enough of this to know that it is really invigorating to do the work that it takes to build an actual business and do it with strategy. And so you're like, this is my plan and this is what I'm going to do step after step. Here's my strategy. Whereas when we're just posting content and hoping to go viral, that can be super disheartening and it can be hard to know what to do next. Sure, you can add some strategy to how your videos look and how you post and how long your captions are or whatever, but there's a ceiling, and no matter what strategy, you're still playing TikTok's game or you're playing Instagram's game. You're playing these algorithmic games that ultimately could disappear overnight or change overnight and put you back on square one. Whereas these business building strategies, they are evergreen. You take this strategy, enticing with an offer and following up and nurturing leads and building audiences that you own. And that is going to last forever. It's not dependent on any particular software program, and it can't be bought out by a billionaire and ruined overnight or anything. And what's more important is that day to day, instead of looking at your view count and deciding whether it's gone down and whether you're bad or whether it's gone up and you're good, this feels so much better. It's not the same roller coaster. It feels like you're actually building a business, building a foundation behind your music instead of just praying to the Spotify gods that they'll let you go viral. You can do this. And if you want, Struggleville can show you how. It doesn't have to feel like gambling and guesswork. You can really build your own strategies. You can take control of your music career and you can make it a small business. If you want to get rich and famous, don't come to Struggleville. We can't help you. But if you want to build a sustaining business behind your music, that's absolutely something you can do, just like so many small businesses are doing in other industries right now. So if you're interested in turning your music career into a real business, that is exactly what we do in our Indie Artist Income Accelerator. It's a 90-day program. We meet every week. Me and my wife, who is also a marketing expert, we help you build these systems for yourself so that you can stop being so dependent on these algorithms and really build onto something brick by brick that grows and grows over time and becomes something that can sustain your life, whether or not you're rich and famous. And as of recording this video, which is December 11th, we are running our best offer ever. You can save more than 50% on your enrollment if you enroll ahead of January 1st. You can check out our website, welcome-to-struggleville.com, to learn more about that. Thank you. I hope this was enlightening. I hope this was eye-opening, and I hope that you take more control of your music business after seeing this, because that is where the real fulfillment comes in. It's not on the algorithms. Good luck.